Felix xQc Lengel is the streamer who took the internet by storm. A Canadian internet personality and former professional Overwatch player who started his career in esports as a tank player for the Dallas Fuel in the Overwatch League. Now, after facing multiple suspensions, xQc transitioned to full-time streaming on Twitch, where he gained immense popularity for his energetic personality and diverse content, including gaming, reaction videos, and variety streaming. Behind the lighthearted and comedy-fueled streams comes a much darker agenda. That dark side is what he's been doing recently on the streaming platform Kick, where he's manipulating his massive audience for a huge payday. Now, I was first introduced to xQc when he reacted to my TikTok that I made on the 20 questions of gambling addiction last year. It was obvious watching it that he wasn't taking it seriously. Or school due to gambling.
No.
2. Has gambling ever made your home life unhappy?
No.
3. Did gambling ever affect your reputation?
Yes.
4. Did you ever feel remorse after gambling?
Yes.
5. Did you ever gamble to use that money to get out of debt?
No.
6. Did gambling make you less ambitious?
No.
7. If you lost, did you ever feel like you had to immediately go and try to win
Yes.
back? 8. After winning, did you feel like continuing to play to win more?
Yes.
9. Did you ever gamble all your money away? 10.
Yes.
Did you ever borrow money to gamble? 11.
Yes.
Have you ever sold anything to gamble?
No.
12. Were you reluctant to use gambling money for normal expenses? 13. Did
Yes.
gambling make you careless of your family's health or even your own?
No.
14. Did you ever gamble for longer than you had planned?
Yes.
15. Did you ever gamble to escape negative emotions like worry,
Yes.
trouble, boredom,
Yes.
loneliness, grief,
Yes.
or loss?
Yes.
16.
Yes.
Did you ever do anything illegal or think about doing anything illegal
No.
to keep gambling? 17. Did gambling make it difficult for you to sleep? 18.
No.
Do you want to gamble when you get into an argument or you feel frustrated? 19.
Yes.
Did you ever feel like gambling to celebrate something? 20.
Yes.
Did you ever consider self-destruction as a result of your gambling? Once
Yes.
again, he gets paid $100 million a year to stream himself gambling. And while he's doing it, he's convincing his audience to do the exact same thing while using his affiliate link. Now, you might be thinking, this guy's obviously jealous, and so he's making a video about it to compensate because he's poor. And at one point in my life, I probably would have been jealous. But the truth is that I'm in recovery for a gambling addiction. And I'm making this video because I believe that thousands of young people are at risk for huge damage to their lives by listening to streamers like xQc, who peddle the false reality that gambling is profitable. I'm Rob, and I made my last bet on November the 12th of 2022. Since then, I've started creating videos sharing my experience with gambling addiction while shedding a light on the evils of the gambling industry in hopes that you won't make the same mistake that I did. So I want you to smash that subscribe button if it's important to you to live a happy and healthy life free from addiction, because I want to help you achieve just that. Now let's take a step back before we dive into the ways that xQc is putting his audience into danger. Let's first clear up the platform that all of this is happening on, Kick. Kick has positioned itself as a competitor to Twitch, offering streamers better revenue splits and fewer restrictions. The favorability of Kick is made possible by the fact that it's owned and operated by Stake.com, one of the largest casinos in the world. xQc's move to Kick was a strategic one, driven by obvious financial incentives that actually went far beyond the $100 million deal that he signed. He actually also gets paid a portion of the losses of anyone that he refers to the site. Do you understand what that means? It means that it is always in xQc's interest to show the positives of gambling and always in his interest to brush off the negatives, or in this case, the reality of gambling, that you'll lose money if you play. He wants his audience to see him betting hundreds of thousands of dollars so that they'll aspire to be just like him one day. In an era without strong leaders in our world, the role models have become people who can hold attention the longest. These streamers who sell a fake luxury lifestyle fueled by gambling have become the role models of millions of people. For many young fans, the thrill of gambling quickly turns into a financial nightmare. Stories of lost savings, debt, and addiction are becoming alarmingly common. This is exactly what happened to me and to so many people that I speak to every single day. There used to be a time where people were gambling in the back of some deli in the middle of the city, and it was happening on the outskirts of society. Now, you see middle schoolers that are getting addicted to gambling because they're playing with their friends, because they're watching streamers like xQc, Aiden Ross, Trainwrecks, and other people that are convincing them that this behavior is not only normal, but it's optimal. When I was watching these streamers, I always felt like I was living vicariously through them. And maybe deep down, maybe not even that deep down, I thought that one day if I get enough money together, I could do the exact same thing that they're doing, of course on a smaller scale. What I didn't recognize at the time was how dangerous this actually was for the people that were watching the streams. Because while I was sitting there and I wasn't personally gambling the moment that I was watching, I was dreaming about what it would be like when I had the opportunity to bet big just like the guys I was watching. And if that's what's going through the minds of everyone that's watching these streams, and you're telling yourself you're watching it for entertainment or you're watching it so that you lose the urge to gamble, you're honestly just lying to yourself. Deep down, you're watching it because you want to do it too, because it looks awesome. And that's the main problem with what we're seeing. It's getting people addicted to gambling before they even start, thinking that this is a great thing that my favorite streamers are doing. Now, beyond this, it's also in xQc's interest to treat gambling addiction as a joke, because if he treated it seriously, he would be giving fans a reason not to gamble, thus eating into his profit margin. Don't believe me that he doesn't take the addiction seriously? Yeah, maybe I'm just salty and I'm reading into things too much. Or maybe not.
I love gambling. I love gambling. I lost my house, my wife, and my children to gambling. One time, I was watching some guy on Mitch TV. His name was Train Station. And he kept saying, don't gamble, don't gamble. So I took a fucking loan from a loan shark, and he killed my loved ones. Fuck, it was worth it though. Book, motherfucker.
As an influencer, xQc has a responsibility to his audience. His promotion of gambling raises some really serious ethical questions about the impact on his young fans and the broader gaming community that's going from video games to now watching gambling content. The reason why it's particularly concerning is that the younger you start gambling, the more likely it is that you develop a gambling problem. For example, children who are introduced to harmless betting by the age of 12 are 4 times more likely to develop a gambling problem later in their life. Young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 are at the highest risk of developing a gambling problem because their brains are still developing and their decision-making abilities aren't fully formed yet. Online gambling is one of the strongest predictors of gambling problems in young adults, and players in this age group are more likely to chase their losses and bet more than they can afford. When it comes to this online gambling, the age requirement checks are minimum at best, and forget geographical restrictions, as VPNs have become as common as the hardwood floors in a newly built luxury apartment. When influencers like xQc promote gambling, they blur the lines between entertainment and exploitation. He wins when his audience loses. And because that is the case, it's always in his best financial interest to lie. It's crucial for these influencers to consider the long-term effects on their impressionable viewers, but who knows if they'll ever take this seriously. All I know is that when the money runs dry and the views slow down and their deals start to run out, a lot of these influencers are going to be desperate to keep the money coming in. I hope that we don't see them getting addicted to gambling too, ruining their lives like they're doing to their audience. There's no value in karma here. I just want to see people living happier and healthier lives. And that isn't going to happen if you develop a gambling problem. If you found this video interesting, check out the deep dive that I did into the casino streams of Aiden Ross. Yet another example of what happens when millions of young people are exposed to online gambling. Until we see some changes, let's try to keep positive and let's keep getting better together, one day at a time.